Hello everyone, it's Pat, and I wanted to come on today and pull some angel cards, some oracle cards for this upcoming week. Today's the 14th of June, and so this is for this upcoming week going through the 20th and 21st. And I wanted to do that because this week has some intense energies coming in it because there's a lot of astrological things going on. On Thursday the 18th, Mercury is going into retrograde. I hope I can speak well enough through this. And even already, there's a sort of a pre-shadow period to just before Mercury goes into retrograde, which we are in now. And for those of you who are familiar with Mercury retrograde, you know that, electronic things can go haywire. It's not a good time to buy electronics or sign contracts, things like that. And it messes with electronic stuff. And actually, I've already seen some of that begin to take place as we, over this weekend, because there was phone issues in my place of employment and issues with the machinery and stuff like that. And it was just interesting. And someone reminded me yesterday that, or the day before yesterday, that, oh yeah, we're coming up on Mercury in retrograde. So, but anyways, that happens on the 18th. And then we also have a new moon and a new moon solar eclipse coming in around the same time as the solstice, the 20th to 21st, in that time frame. And so, new moons are generally about new beginnings. But when there's a new moon solar eclipse, it adds a level of intensity to it. And sometimes those new beginnings come from very dramatic endings. And ultimately, it's all for the best, but it can be very intense as we're going through it, okay? And of course, it's the change where we're in the solstice, we're entering into the solstice, and that entering fully into the summer months. So I pulled from a few different decks actually. Of course, I've gone to the Archangels because it's always good to, I feel, reach out to them or know who's overseeing us so we know who we can reach out and call upon. And but I was also guided to use the Goddess deck, which I haven't used in a while. And this deck, which a friend reminded me of yesterday, the Transitions deck, it's called the Butterfly. As I was watching Colette Baron Reid's reading today, she made the analogy to the butterfly, the caterpillar that changes into the butterfly, because it's really a wonderful metaphor for metamorphosis when things are in transition. Because when the caterpillar goes into that chrysalis, it's very stuck, it's very confined, it's exhausted, it hasn't had anything to eat, it's just in this process of dramatic change. And that's what's going on in our world right now. And so it is a time of immense transition. But, we're all here going through this and being present during this time for a reason. And there are things that we are learning from it personally, but also for our spiritual selves, maybe karmically, learning higher spiritual lessons from it. So anyway, it's a time of immense transition, okay? So let's see who is working with us this week. And I've got about 4 cards. For whatever reason, rather than just the usual one, I felt drawn to do more than one. Maybe we just need that much support and energy this week. So with the Archangels, we have Jeremiah with this message of overcoming difficulties, okay? So I don't doubt that in our world, we're going to see more intense things happen. And you're probably sighing like, oh God, hasn't it already been intense enough with the protests and the virus and the murder of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter? I mean, there's already been a lot of intense things going on, but there's a lot that's needed to be revealed in our society, a lot of like infections and things that were festering underneath the surface, that in order for them to heal and truly change in a healthier way, for us to be able to continue to grow personally and as a people, it has to be revealed. And it's not easy to look at. It is really, and it brings up a lot of intense emotions in us. It triggers a lot of things for us. So Jeremiah is an angel of mercy, and he helps us during these times of difficulty when we are going through transitions. I came to understand Jeremiah as the angel who is with us at that time when we pass. And you know, that old way of thinking where they would say your life would flash before your eyes. Well, he does what we call a life review. That's what I came to understand about Jeremiah. He helps us to look at aspects of our lives, patterns that keep coming up for us. You know, it's when that card shows up, especially as we go into something like a Mercury retrograde, where we're reviewing things, that whole re-prefix that comes along with retrograde. You know, a lot of things from the past come up into our awareness again. Old feelings, old uncomfortable feelings sometimes, that we need to review because they haven't been fully healed. And we need to forgive and let go, or process them again from a different perspective, or different phase of our personal growth. So Archangel Jeremiah, and it can be difficult to do that. It can be difficult to sit in that energy and see what's happening in the world and have your own feelings turned up. So Jeremiah is our angel of mercy. And this is a positive message, you know, because he's letting us know that we are doing, we are able to overcome these difficulties. It's a picture of an eagle or a dove, or, you know, ascending to the peak of the difficulty, to, you know, get to that point where it's going to overcome it and get past it. So, but he is an angel of mercy, and we can call upon him for ourselves, or other people, or when we ourselves need to look more mercifully upon something, a situation in our lives. You know, if we're looking for a way, or we need a way, which we may as not just individually, but as a whole, to step out of that space of, you know, intense anger, and, you know, fighting and what have you that's going on, so we can look at things and what's going on in a more merciful way. And sometimes we need to ask for that power that's greater than ourselves or outside of ourselves to help us do that. Sometimes we can be too embroiled in a situation to be able to see it clearly. So we need to ask for that higher help, okay? But so he's letting us know that we may encounter some difficulties this week. But we have the power, and we can ask for his help to overcome them. The other card, Archangel, was Raguel, with this message of clairsentience. So there's a lot of intense feelings that we're going to have coming up. But he's urging us to pay attention to our feelings. There's maybe feelings that we've been trying to ignore, or put aside, and in order to deal with the situation in front of us. But he's reminding us that we have to pay attention to our feelings, even if they're really intense. You know, there are techniques out there that you can do. I know one of the ones I use personally is EFT, or emotional freedom technique, or tapping, to help decrease the intensity, so you can see things and be open to you know, awarenesses and clarity coming to you. We also had Michael come out again with this message again of you are safe. Michael, our protector archangel, okay? And he says, I'm protecting you against lower energies, okay? So this may be a week where some of us feel the need to really retreat, as if, you know, we've already been doing a lot of that, but with the guidelines that have been lifted, there have been more people going out because businesses have been trying to reopen, and opening of restaurants and things like that. So he's reminding us to keep ourselves protected, okay? And he can help us to feel safer and protected as we go out into these situations. But, you know, when I see that card too, I also feel like it's, he's reminding us that he's overseeing what's going on right now, because it's about bringing justice forward, okay? There's been a lot of injustices that have gone on for decades, even centuries, just, you know, that need to be corrected. We do need to heal. America needs to heal from its past. And he's helping us in that process, okay? And the lovely final outcome card here, the lovely other card, is peace. And it says, peace comes from remembering that only love is real. And it's the Archangel Shamuel, who's I came to understand Shamuel as being the vision of God. That's what his name means. And then he helps to turn the energy of pain that we may have seen or experienced to peace, okay? And that's part of what things like Mercury retrograde and these celestial events help us to do. It churns up things that still need healing. They may be painful events from our past personally, or from our past as a country as a whole, as a world as a whole, that we need to heal. And so Shamuel is an angel that helps us do that, okay? He's part of what they call the Great White Brotherhood, or the Brotherhood of Light, that helps the world, and it's when it's going through these types of processes, okay, or these types of transformations or transitions. It's also a reminder to focus on that. I've been trying to remember, I know when I post on social media now, that I remember what I learned from the movie The Secret, which is that there was a piece in that movie where they were talking about Mother Teresa. And she said she wouldn't go if she was invited to an anti-war rally or protest, but she would go to anything. She would go to a peace rally because it's about putting your power and energy into what you'd like to see happen, okay? Putting your efforts into that. So I'm finding for myself, and I'm sure that this is what this alludes to as well, is to bring more peace in, to bring in the new peace that we all want to have, that we know there's a new normal coming in, and that there's a new normal here, and our energies need to be in the moment and focused on how we can bring a new peace in to our world, okay? So those are some of the messages that we've gotten from our lovely archangels, okay? Let's see what else we had. The Angel Gods and Goddess deck, the messages from them, again, not a surprise in some ways. We had the Angel of Prayer come to us, and she says, you know, ask the universe. I don't like wearing my glasses outside, but I need them to read. Ask the universe and the angels. So it's a reminder. The card is reminding us, and as well as giving us a heads up, they're probably going to be doing a lot of praying this week. And it is a reminder to us that we're not alone. Whatever situation we may find ourselves in personally, or how we feel about what's going on in the world at large, we need to often ask for that higher help, that higher power to come in and help us to change and to provide support for us. Because we can't do it alone, and we don't have to do it alone. There's a whole team of spiritual support out there with the angels and the saints and the divine beings, those unseen loving forces. We're never alone. That's what that card reminds us of. We can always call upon God and the angels for help, or whoever, you know, whatever saints, divinities you feel most aligned with. They're always ready to help us. And we had the Angel of Support come out. And it is what it says, that our prayers, okay, that are being heard and answered, the support we've been asking for is here for us. In fact, I want to read to you what it says in this, for this card, because it was really wonderful. Angel of Support. It says the universe has heard your silent call for help. It says your financial and emotional well-being is about to take a turn for the better through an unexpected blessing or a sudden change in fortune that is soon to come your way. Surrender all fear and anxiety to God and trust. Emotional, spiritual, and material support comes through a seemingly chance encounter with someone new or through an unexpected offer. So, when I look at that card and when I read that message, what it shows me is that there's things coming forward that are going to turn the tide on some situations, either for us personally or what's been going on in our world. Okay, you know, many of us are very frustrated by with this current administration, but we kind of feel powerless to change it in a lot of ways. But there are people working behind the scenes, and so we may see new developments come up this week or in the next couple weeks that turn the tide. And you know, we also may see it come about because there may be some very ugly things that happen again, as if George Floyd's thing wasn't enough, and the protests and all this other stuff going on, as if that wasn't enough already. We may yet see more. I hope I'm wrong about that, but we may yet see more. But it's something that's additionally turning the tide. You know, it's these repeated waves of things that are finally, you know, turning and coming to crash. Or, anyways, it's good to know that there's something positive on the other side, and it's a reminder that our prayers are being heard and answered. But sometimes in the way of things, in the way of the universe works, sometimes things really do have to get not just worse, but really bad and hit a rock bottom before they get better. And I don't think it's the worst of times that we've ever been through as a country or as a world. There certainly have been worse things that have happened in the history of humanity. But and I don't say this to scare anybody. These are potentials of what come up, and I'm just passing on what I feel in terms energetically. But it's also intended to convey hope, because for those of us who are all still here, we have what it takes to bring the changes into the world that need to be brought in. But there's a lot of good, strong, conscious people out there who want to do what's right and who want to do the right thing. And I believe that there's more of those out there than there are people who are wanting to do others ill. Okay? What's incredible to me, as I was reminded of this morning, when I was talking to my brother, thank you, bro, is that, you know, with what happened to George Floyd, there are people all over the world, not just this country, who were out marching for justice for him, which is incredible. And it's a real reminder how, you know, what's taking place here isn't just happening in our small little world anymore. The whole world is watching what's going on here right now. So, and that may be part of how the universe is helping us. Okay. Anyways, so the other goddesses that came out for us were the angel of psychic ability. Okay. And so there may be an increased amount of intuitive feelings that you're getting, visions, your dream life may be cranked up. And it's what you're seeing. And, you know, a lot of us already know, a lot of us who are already psychic and intuitive, we watch what's, you know, portrayed to us on the news, or what certain politicians or, you know, leaders are saying. And we just know that it's truthful, or when it's truthful or untruthful. You know, we can sense when so that's our intuitive abilities that are showing us the truth about things. And but it's letting us know that our abilities are spot on this week. They're strong at present, so pay attention to them. And we have the Goddess of Oneness, who's also with us, letting us know. It says, someone you love is thinking of you fondly at this moment. Someone like a loved one from spirit is, and we know with this virus, there are many, many who have passed, who were our loved ones. And just because they don't have a body anymore doesn't mean they've stopped loving us, because love is one of the things that goes on forever. And they're still there looking out for us, caring for us, sending us love at this moment to keep going, okay? And letting us know, here's the flies, that they're still with us, okay? And let's see if there's any other special message on that one. Goddess of Oneness. Yeah. Oh, it says a lot of what I just said. Remember that love is not restricted by time or space, and you're forever connected spiritually to those you love and care for. Okay? And they're making their presence known to us. So they, in their own way, are helping from beyond the veil, if you will. So, but you may find too that if you've had a loved one that passed recently from this virus or something else, that you're getting little reminders from them in the physical world. You know, they have a lovely way of doing that after they've passed. You know, you might suddenly hear their song. You'll be thinking of them, and suddenly you hear their song come on the radio, or a band that was their favorite. Or you see an animal that they particularly loved or were attracted to, that just shows up out of the blue, out of nowhere, and it's not, you know, when you normally would see it. So I know there are some people who would get pennies from their relatives on the other side. So, you know, it's obviously going to be something that is meaningful to you, but that's what the sense that I get with this card is you're going to be hearing from, in some form, messages or signs or something from your loved ones on the other side, letting you know that they are still there with you and that they love you and care for you deeply. Okay, so now let's look quickly, and then we'll wrap this up, at the transition cards, the butterfly cards that we got. So retirement is something that came up, and this may be because you yourself or someone you know is literally going into retirement, but retirement represents a transition in life. Obviously that's what this deck is about, transitions. But I also felt when I looked at it that it could be about the fact that we as individuals, or as a society as a whole, and society as a whole, are putting certain things, either physical things, belief patterns, or things, there's some things that we are just having to put into retirement. Okay, you know, like the way you might put an old car or something like that into retirement, that doesn't serve you anymore, or just some belief pattern, a way of believing, or some old hurt. It's got to be put into retirement, because we're healing. This week is about healing from the past. Okay. We got this one new exercise program, but it may be that it's just, I think when I looked at it, it's that there could very well be a new exercise program that you're getting involved with, but to help you through this week, or some new beginning that you'd like. But it also just may be a reminder to us that, you know, getting out, exercising, walking, getting outdoors is a great way to help relieve and process intense feelings. Okay. And there's a change coming to your family. Okay, for some of you, this has to do with the birth of a child, or a new child coming into your family. But it could also be about a child leaving, or some change coming about. In fact, I have my child coming up the stairs right now. Just say hi, buddy, as you're going by. So it means in some way there's a significant change. It could be related to your pets. You know, you may be losing a pet or gaining a pet. But it may be something very, very significant for you. But it brings about some new beginnings. And ultimately it brings about positive changes for everybody, is what this card reminds us of. Family changes, yeah. Somebody might be getting married. Or there might be, you know, you or someone you know is going through a divorce, someone in your family. But it's bringing about a big change. And that can seem threatening, like, you know, as a lot of this reading has alluded to, when we're in the process of big changes and there's a lot of new that's going to come in, it can be very disruptive. It can seem very scary. But ultimately, it brings growth opportunities, and you know, it may bring you closer to people in ways that you didn't expect. So anyways, those are some of the messages that I've gotten that I wanted to share with you for this upcoming week. I hope you find it resonates with you, and if it does, you know, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or comment below. And I hope you all have a lovely week. Hang in there, okay? One way or another, we're all going to get through this. And whether it's from watching my readings or other readings from other people that you see on YouTube, I know I watch a variety of people who I feel are inspirational to me. We're all going to get through this, okay? So hang in there. It might be a rough ride this week, but hang in there, okay? Take care, everyone.